Over the next 24 hours, an enhanced risk for severe weather across parts of the state. I'll let you know what you can expect as myself and the THV weather team tracks the storm system.
Plus, Arkansas's governor sets execution dates for 8 death row inmates.
And only at 5, a tough decision to stomach. A health scare makes this brother and sister relationship unlike any other. Your news starts now.
This is THV11 News at 5.
Thunderstorms and possible tornadoes in Arkansas's forecast today. Severe weather possible as a strong storm system is set to cross the state within the next 24 hours or so. And that is why we begin tonight with our chief meteorologist, Ed Buckner, who is tracking the system to let us know when it will take place and what we can expect. Ed?
That's right, ladies. Yeah, we are looking for the threat for some strong storms, mainly tomorrow late, very late tomorrow night. And sometimes I hesitate to jump 24 to 36 hours ahead when I'm talking to you right now. Tonight, no problems. But tomorrow night could be significant enough, could be, that we do want to make you aware of that first things first. So now let me go back to what's going on now. Take a look at the radar. Not a whole lot. This again is not tonight we're talking about. Just want to make sure you're clear on that. Southeast Arkansas, you've been dealing with some thunderstorm activity this afternoon. Right now, one storm is moving across the Mississippi River and into Mississippi and out of our hair, so the state is pretty much quiet as far as any kind of thunderstorm activity right now. Temperatures are still fairly mild, not too bad, about where they're supposed to be. However, there's warmth in Texas and a warm front that's going to move through overnight and tomorrow, bringing us close to record-breaking highs. Here's tomorrow's forecast. Mainly a quiet, cloudy, and very warm Tuesday. Kind of an eerie Tuesday, but not a whole lot going on from the skies until late, 30% late, and a high of 80. Here's the risk, though. This has been in effect for 3 days now. Storm Prediction Center thinking there's a really good chance of some supercells to develop out ahead of that cold front when it moves through tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. Again, it's worth watching and worth being aware of and prepared for. We'll talk much more about the timing of when these storms could happen, if they happen, coming up in just a few minutes. Back to y'all.
Governor Asa Hutchinson sets execution dates for 8 death row inmates. The governor signed a proclamation scheduling the executions take place in April. They'll begin April 17th, followed by the 20th, 24th, and 27th. Last week, the U.S. Supreme Court rejected the inmates' request to review a state ruling upholding Arkansas's lethal injection law. A lethal injection drug that expired in January hasn't been replaced yet. Arkansas hasn't executed an inmate since 2005. As we await official police reports from Friday night's deadly officer-involved shooting in Little Rock, the details we do know have a major state agency and police on alert. THV11's Rolly Hoyt spoke to representatives from those groups today, and he joins us with details.
And we have just gotten some of those official reports on what went on Friday night. We've learned that Detective Angela Everett was the woman who was serving as an off-duty officer at the Arkansas Revenue Office off of Rodney Parham. She shot a man named Gregory Lamont Childress, who allegedly approached her vehicle during this attempted robbery. Now, all of this is being described as not the first time. At least that's according to the state agency that runs the Arkansas Revenue offices, and as well as the Fraternal Order of Police, all trying to get the shock out of their system after Friday night's incident.
We're all a little shocked and surprised.
Was the officer okay? That's the only thing and the first thing that went through my mind.
The words of two people as they heard the news about Friday's officer-involved shooting. According to Little Rock Police Chief Kenton Buckner, the off-duty officer was wrapping up a shift at a Midtown Arkansas Revenue office. 2 or 3 men approached, tried to rob the officer, and the officer responded with deadly force. That night, the chief expressed some surprise because the officer was in uniform with an unmarked car.
But it should be alarming to anyone that someone would be that brazen to attempt to do something like that.
The Department of Finance and Administration oversees revenue offices.
We're aware of a security situation at our revenue offices, and it's obviously something we take very seriously.
And the local Fraternal Order of Police points to this incident as a sign of their dangers, whether walking a beat or doing detail.
Every job, there is a danger inherent to it. We had one several years ago, an officer that was working at Dillard's goes out to talk to basically a shoplifting suspect and gets run over.
Now, the DFA says the use of armed off-duty officers is standard for most state agencies. He pointed to a similar robbery attempt at a revenue office in Saline County last year on why using police for security is often necessary.
Really, thank you. The mother of a 15-year-old shot and killed by a Little Rock police officer wants a ruling reversed in a wrongful death lawsuit. Sylvia Perkins, the mother of Bobby Moore, wants a judge to reconsider a ruling that dismissed the city and former Little Rock Police Chief Stuart Thomas in her wrongful death lawsuit. Perkins says the ruling didn't adequately address documents that she filed. Former officer Josh Hastings shot and killed Moore in August of 2012. Hastings tried twice but was never convicted on a manslaughter charge.
A man is arrested for arson in the early morning fire at the Germantown Apartments in Conway. 50-year-old David Hartzell is facing arson and first-degree battery charges for the apartment fire on South German Lane. 2 people were injured after jumping from the 2nd floor. 6 apartments have heavy fire damage. 6 others have smoke damage. 17 tenants are displaced. Management and the Red Cross are working to find them new homes tonight. And the president is set to talk about budget plans, tax cuts, and the replacement of the Affordable Care Act. President Trump met with health insurance executives and several governors, like Arkansas's own Asa Hutchinson, this morning to talk about the Affordable Care Act. He warned the nation's healthcare system is in danger of imploding. But so far, he didn't offer details about how he plans to change it. This discussion starts during a joint address to Congress set for tomorrow.
A bill that would allow wine in Arkansas grocery stores failed in the House today. THV11's Winnie Wright was at the Capitol today. She brings us details on why this is not over yet.
Well, Dawn, there were quite a few references to David and Goliath in the Arkansas House today. Arkansas small business owners went up against Walmart and won, but the tale doesn't end there. Senate Bill 284, which would allow out-of-state wines to be sold in Arkansas grocery stores, failed, but by a very narrow margin. Those opposed to the bill, mainly liquor store owners, say the bill would put them out of business, and those in favor say it would open up a, quote, protected class of business up to the free market. A Saline County liquor store owner told me that because liquor stores can't buy wholesale, they can't sell food, and they can't operate near churches or schools, they're not on even ground.
If we're going to be a free market, we need comprehensive reform. This bill doesn't do that.
It's a very good point on the deregulation. Look, this is a regulated industry for a purpose. It's a very dangerous product that we sell that affects a lot of people's lives very negatively. And so we have to regulate it and protect the public.
Senator Hester says because the bill failed by such a narrow margin, he plans to bring it up again as early as tomorrow. Now, coming up on tonight on THV11 News at 6:30, what liquor store owners tell me they fear is next if wine is allowed in grocery stores.
All right, Winnie, thank you. U.S. Senator John Boozman is holding a tele-town hall tonight at 7:30. The statewide event allows Arkansans to ask questions via phone, or they can just simply listen in. Anyone interested in participating can sign up ahead of time on Senator Boozman's website, and this is so they can be dialed in to the call.
Well, a ceremonial first crossing of the new Broadway Bridge happened today. The Highway Commission, Pulaski County Judge, and the mayors of Little Rock and North Little Rock crossed the new bridge. The bridge isn't open to the public right now, but when it does, drivers can expect lane closures as bridge work continues into May. And next Tuesday is National Pancake Day. So in preparation, IHOP is hosting the very first pancake and pajama party tonight. Special guests include children representing Arkansas Children's Hospital and their families. The public is invited to come watch the kids walk the red carpet and take photos and dance to music. You'll even hear a bedtime story from Miss Arkansas, Savannah Skidmore, and that's tonight at the Maumelle IHOP from 6 to 8.
All right, severe weather possible for parts of the state over the next day or so. Chief Meteorologist Ed Buckner is tracking it all and brings us the latest in the forecast coming up.
Plus, only at 5, a tough decision that's hard to stomach. A health scare makes this Hot Springs brother-sister relationship unlike any other. That story coming up.
You know, it's not too bad out in the weather garden right now. Temperatures are still fairly cool. Fairly like it's supposed to be for late February, in the 50s still for the most part. Skies are generally cloudy, no rain, but tomorrow night at this time, 24 hours fast forward, it's going to feel much different outside. Our atmosphere will be a little bit more primed for severe weather, and that threat is more likely to happen late tomorrow into early Wednesday. That's the time frame. I'll have more on that here in the next couple of minutes or two. Here's what's going on. The Storm Prediction Center has had North Arkansas, central and North Arkansas, under an enhanced risk of severe weather since Saturday. So they're pretty confident that there is that risk that lies there, but there is a question mark, which I'll get to in just a minute, that still remains on how bad things might be, if at all. But that said, there at least is that enhanced risk for severe weather, and an enhanced risk for severe weather means that there could be more widespread severe weather. It's a little bit better risk than a slight risk. It's between slight and moderate, and I know this can get confusing, but an enhanced risk means numerous severe storms are possible, persistent, more widespread, stronger storms with wind, hail, and isolated tornadoes. So all of that is indeed a threat here as we head into tomorrow late afternoon into tomorrow evening. We're not in that moderate or high risk. When that happens, things usually just go crazy, but that's not what we're expecting from this event. Right now, just an enhanced risk for severe weather. Radar not showing a whole lot. We have had a renegade thunderstorm across South Arkansas all afternoon long. It has now since pretty much weakened and moved into Mississippi, and not a whole lot left of that. But that said, I'm keeping 20 to 30% chance for rain and or a thunderstorm in the overnight forecast because a warm front's expected to lift northward. Now, right now, that boundary is down in Texas. Along it, there's a little bit of a strong storm developing to the east there of Dallas from around Tyler, Texas. So there's a strong storm out there. This is going to be the line of instability. And as that warm front moves northward overnight for us tonight, temperatures will not drop at all. They may actually rise as we head toward the morning hours. And then tomorrow, we're talking a whole different day, much, much warmer than today. 59 was our high, and that is the average. So that's what I meant. I mean, it feels like it should feel for February 27th out there. 57, the high coming in from North Little Rock. Right now it's 59, dew point 56, so there's a lot of moisture out there, 90%. Statewide temperatures aren't that varied. They're all around upper 50s to lower 60s, 62 in Hot Springs. So here's the future radar. Tonight, spotty showers or a thunderstorm or two, but nothing widespread. It's Wednesday morning after midnight when this cold front sweeps through. That'll be the lifting mechanism for any kind of severe weather. Now, that model showed hardly anything at all. I'm doubting it just a bit. That said, we do have the high moisture in place. The forcing mechanism, which is the cold front, will be late to arrive. That's going to be overnight. We will have the instability, but not during the daytime. It'll be an overnight event. We will have wind shear, plenty of wind energy with this storm system, and that's why we're in that enhanced risk area. 60 tonight with maybe even steady or rising temperatures, 30% the chance. Tomorrow should be a quiet day. Can't rule out a storm, but probably worse or more numerous late tomorrow into tomorrow night and early Wednesday. And then we turn colder with highs only near 59 by Friday. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It was a life-altering choice. Two siblings from Hot Springs decided to completely remove their stomachs together.
The reason why was difficult for even them to digest, and THV11's Erica Ferrando is here with all the details.
Casey Newcomer and Sydney Bogan say the decision to remove their stomachs last summer was actually an easy one, but it was why they had to remove their stomachs that really changed their lives.
I want breakfast. And I want like an omelet.
On the outside, Casey Newcomer and Sydney Bogan are just like any other brother and sister.
You know, if you got offered to go to a chop and chat, you'd go.
But on the inside, there's one thing they share that makes this brother-sister relationship unlike any other.
I know I had the same reaction that I probably get from every other person when I say I don't have a stomach, is you're just like, yeah, you do.
But the decision to completely remove their stomachs was easy.
Having it be 80% of a chance of having stomach cancer, it was an easy choice.
These siblings have an extremely rare condition called hereditary diffuse gastric cancer. It's an inherited gene mutation with anywhere from a 50 to 80% chance of causing cancer. Because the cells are widely spread, they're nearly impossible to detect.
You can't detect the cancer. They call it a silent killer.
This silent killer started showing signs in their father in early 2015.
He was losing weight and just wasn't really feeling like himself.
He was diagnosed with stage 4 stomach cancer. It ended his life that October.
When we found out it was genetic, we had to go get tested to see if we were positive. It was my brother, my sister, and me.
With a 50-50 chance of inheriting the gene, both were positive, which takes us to Dr. Sam Yoon in New York City. He specializes in stomach cancer and says only about 200 families have ever been found to have this gene mutation.
That's 200 kind of extended families, and this is throughout the world. So it's a pretty small number.
Having treated about 40 similar cases.
The screening for diffuse gastric cancer is thought not to be very good, and most people who are physically fit, not that old, it's recommended they get a prophylactic total gastrectomy.
Dr. Yoon says living without a stomach is just an adjustment. They had their surgery on the same day.
Same day. I went like 3 hours after him.
The surgery means about a 20% loss in weight. Dr. Yoon adds it also means eating smaller amounts more often. But after about 6 months, it's back to a normal lifestyle.
Here I am 6 months out of surgery, and I can eat everything.
It's a discovery that could save future generations.
I've got 3 kids of my own, so later, as they get older, we'll have to get them tested because they have a 50-50 shot of having the gene also.
With cancerous spots found in both of their stomachs, the loss, in turn, gave them a future.
I think we were really blessed and fortunate to be able to be where we are right now with everything.
These siblings say the one thing they want people to take from their story is learn your family history. They had family members in the past with abdominal pains who died at young ages, and now they know why. Dr. Yoon added if you've had relatives with gastric cancer or lobular breast cancer, he would recommend getting tested.
Erica, thank you so much. The American Academy of Pediatrics is warning about the potential harmful effects marijuana can have on teenagers.
More on a new report that says the drug can be harmful to a developing brain. As laws loosen on marijuana across the country, doctors are noticing an alarming trend among teenagers.
CBS's Chris Martinez has more from Los Angeles.
The nation's pediatricians are beefing up their warning about teenagers and marijuana use. A new report from the American Academy of Pediatrics finds as more states legalize the drug for adult use, more teenagers think it's safe.
Marijuana is not a benign drug for teenagers because it affects their developing mind. Teenagers are at a critical time of brain development, and they can have lifelong impacts from marijuana use during adolescence.
The report says the drug is more addicting today. It can affect learning, and regular use can lead to mental health problems, including anxiety and depression.
California and 28 other states allow medical and recreational use of marijuana for adults over 21. And doctors worry some parents who use the drug may think it's okay for kids.
Dr. Stephen Patrick of Vanderbilt University Medical Center says parents need to protect their children.
Parents really need to model behaviors of drug use, to not use substances in front of their children.
With about 20% of high school students using marijuana, experts say it's critical for parents and pediatricians to discuss the dangers with kids. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, research shows that teenagers who use marijuana are at a higher risk of having a lower IQ and changes in the brain regions that affect memory.
Well, with every passing day, patients across the state are closer to receiving medical marijuana, but where does it stand now?
The amendment is in the process of implementation, and many patients have questions like when will it be available and what are the expectations for doctors?
Maybe cannabis is the answer to, to a lot of my problems. It may be able to work well enough to where I'm able to go back to work. That would be awesome for me.
Erica Ferrando has a special report tonight at 6.
Well, the chances for severe weather in Arkansas tomorrow are possible.
Our chief, Ed Bucker, has a final check of your forecast after the break. All right, we are just days away from the 15th annual Little Rock Marathon. The fun starts this Saturday, March 4th, and Don Scott, Craig O'Neill are emceeing the Little Rockers race.
All right, then Sunday, March 5th, join us at the THV11 Finale Alley, Capitol and Main Streets downtown. Tom Brannan, Rob Evans, and Laura Monteverde will be stationed in the final stretch, cheering those runners on. There'll be food trucks, music, and so much more.
All right, hoping for some great weather that weekend.
The weekend weather looking pretty good for that.
Good.
The only really bump in the road is what's going to happen tomorrow night and early on Wednesday. And yet we still have some time to watch to see how this unfolds, if indeed it does. But here's a look at what's going on as far as your extended goes. Tomorrow's going to be one of those weird days. It's going to be 80 degrees. Cloudy. It's just going to feel bad outside. It's going to feel nasty, and that is the atmosphere priming itself for some stronger storms as we head into Tuesday night and early Wednesday. So 80 tomorrow, then it cools off quite a bit with lows back into the 30s and highs only near 60 by Friday.
All right. Thanks, Ed.
We'll keep you posted.
All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 6 after the CBS Evening News.
Good night.
Thanks for watching THV11 News. Stay connected to the THV Information Center 24/7 on your mobile device and with the THV11 app for your iPad.